Have you ever heard of the Battle of Los Angeles? Was it a real attack, a false alarm, or a visit from extraterrestrial beings? Today, we're going to delve into this mysterious event, which took place on the night of February 24th and 25th, 1942. A night filled with fear, anticipation, and a sky lit by artillery fire. But what was the reality? Was it war nerves, a weather balloon, or something beyond our understanding? Intrigued? Let's dive into the events of that fateful night. The United States had just entered World War II, and the fear of another attack was palpable. The nation was still reeling from the surprise assault on Pearl Harbor by the Japanese Navy, an event that occurred barely 3 months prior. The West Coast especially was on high alert, with the dread of another strike looming heavy. In this tense atmosphere, an incident occurred that further fueled the public's anxiety. On February 23, 1942, a Japanese submarine targeted an oil refinery near Santa Barbara, California. While the attack only caused minor damage, it certainly amplified the fear and apprehension gripping the nation. Naval intelligence didn't help to quell this fear. In fact, they intensified it by issuing a warning on the day following the submarine attack. They predicted an enemy assault within the next 10 hours. Then on February 24, 1942, something happened that would forever be etched in history. At 7:18 p.m., a warning was issued. At 10:55 p.m., the sirens sounded. The world was at war, and Los Angeles was bracing itself for a battle. The city, shrouded in a blanket of fear, was preparing for an imminent attack. A blackout was ordered, plunging the entire city into an eerie darkness. The only light came from the moon, casting long, haunting shadows on the deserted streets. Every citizen was ordered to stay indoors, their faces pale with fear as they anxiously waited for what might come. The city was silent, save for the hushed whispers of the wind and the distant ominous tolling of the church bells. But this silence was shattered at 3:16 a.m., when the 37th Coast Artillery Brigade began firing their anti-aircraft guns into the night sky. The sudden eruption of gunfire echoed across the city, each shot lighting up the sky with a brief, intense flash, followed by a deafening boom. The soldiers were shooting at something, but what? They believed they were aiming at enemy aircraft, their eyes squinting into the darkness, their hands shaking as they fired shot after shot. The barrage continued for over an hour, the sky ablaze with the bright, fiery trails of the artillery shells. At 4:14 a.m., the all clear was sounded. The guns fell silent, and the city held its breath. The soldiers, their faces smeared with sweat and gunpowder, scanned the sky for signs of the enemy, but there were none. The official reports claimed that they had brought down at least one enemy plane and damaged several others. Yet no wreckage or bodies were ever found. As the sun rose, the city slowly came back to life. The people emerged from their homes, their faces bearing the relief of having survived the night. But they were left with a lingering question, a question that would haunt them for years to come. They looked up at the sky, now clear and blue, and wondered, what were they shooting at? But the question remained, what were they shooting at? The official report claimed victory, but no wreckage or bodies were ever found. This stark absence of physical evidence led to a whirlwind of speculation, theories, and controversy. The Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, dismissed the incident as a false alarm, attributing the chaos to war nerves and a stray weather balloon. Knox proposed that the balloon had triggered the artillery fire, and the ensuing mid-air explosions created the illusion of an enemy attack. This explanation, although officially endorsed, didn't sit well with many who experienced the event firsthand. Eyewitness accounts from that night painted a different picture. Civilians, military personnel, and journalists alike reported seeing something in the night sky, something that didn't resemble a balloon or an aircraft. Descriptions varied from a large, glowing orange object moving silently across the sky to a formation of bright lights that changed shape and color. Some accounts even mentioned smaller objects flying in and out of the main object. Adding fuel to the fire was a photograph published by the Los Angeles Times. The image showed searchlights converging on a bright spot in the sky, surrounded by shell bursts. This photograph was widely circulated and scrutinized. Some believed it was authentic, capturing an unidentified flying object, or UFO, while others argued that the photo was tampered with to stir up sensationalism. With the lack of conclusive evidence and the stark contrast between the official explanation and eyewitness accounts, the incident quickly transformed into a hotbed of theories. Some suggested it was a secret military experiment or a psychological warfare operation. Others proposed that it was a cover-up for a real attack that was downplayed to avoid panic. The most outlandish theories suggested an extraterrestrial visit, with the government concealing the truth to prevent public hysteria. And so, the debate began. The Battle of Los Angeles remains one of the most mysterious and debated incidents in American history. The enigma has only deepened with time, and the theories that have sprung up over the years are as diverse as they are fascinating. Some researchers have suggested that it was a secret military experiment. They propose that the US military might have been testing new technology or conducting a psychological warfare operation to gauge the public's reaction in the event of an actual attack. Then there are those who believe that the Battle of Los Angeles was indeed a visit from an alien spacecraft. UFO enthusiasts and certain researchers argue that the government concealed the truth to prevent public hysteria. They point to the eyewitness accounts of strange glowing objects and formations of bright lights as evidence of extraterrestrial involvement. But perhaps the most widely accepted theory is that it was nothing more than a case of mass hysteria, fueled by fear and confusion. The tension following the attack on Pearl Harbor, coupled with the warning of an imminent attack, could have led to a collective state of panic. But the truth? It remains shrouded in mystery, leaving us to question, to theorize, and to wonder. So, dear viewers, what do you think? What really happened on that night in 1942?